Hi, welcome to the Action for Teens and Moms Health, where our goal is to help moms like yourself to increase your parenting confidence, remove the overwhelm of adolescents, and improve your ability to fully engage your teens to achieve remarkable results. Welcome again, and thanks for joining me. Thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your comments. I really do appreciate them. Please always leave your comments. I would like to know that you stopped by and like to know what your thoughts are. Today, we are going to talk about 10 ways to communicate with your teens on sex and sexuality. So, this is a topic that everybody has asked for, something that is dear to all moms' hearts, and I do understand where you're coming from. Okay, so it's important. Sex and sexuality is vital to the influence that we have on a child. It's part of the leadership that we have to provide for them at every point in time. Okay, this is a very soft, sensitive issue, and to be honest, it's not an easy issue to discuss with a child. But we have to be intentional, and we have to have it has to be purposeful when we're talking to them at every point in time. Now, there are a lot of factors that determine the outcome of a teenager, be it male or female. The first is their capacity, their competencies, their vulnerabilities, the way they can assert themselves. The second is the family. I mentioned all this in my video one, and you might want to go back and check. The family, so this is the teenager, this is the family, and the family values. The second is the peer group, the school the child attends to, they all matter. Social media, TV, and all that contributes to the outcome of the child. The community the child is growing in, the neighborhood matters. The church or the religious affiliation that you have is important to forming the outcome of the child. Even the policies, the government contribute to how the child comes out. So it's important for the family's value to be solid. It's important for the woman or the mom or the parent to take full leadership on how the outcome of the child would be. If not, the child would follow the other outcomes, or would the outcome be based on external factors rather than what is surrounding him that helps to form him, to shape him. Now, I won't pretend that talking about the teen is very easy, but there are different ways in which this could happen. It could be like the child will come to you and ask questions. And there was a day my daughter came and said, "Mom, do men menstruate?" I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, why do you ask that question? And I just want to know because, okay, puberty and all, we heard about it. And then I went back down to the basics. What is the difference between a male and a female? Okay, what are the changes you are seeing? And she said, okay, a girl starts growing breast, and a man has the penis, the woman has the vagina, this one has a womb, and this one doesn't, and this one has beards, So she started seeing the differences that she could notice, physically in male and female. I said, yes, okay, you are right, because the woman has a womb. God has destined her to be reproductive and to give birth to children. Before she can do that, there's something called the menstrual cycle, okay? That's what prepares the egg and everything, and I just simplified it. And she was like, oh, that's okay. And I quickly put it in there. I said, okay, so do you remember the red zones? Because as we're all maturing, there are some things we have to be conscious of. I said, yes, I know where the red zones are, the breast, the bum, the hand, the mouth. I said, yes, absolutely. Those are the red zones in the body, and you have to take care of those places and to be sure that you know what the limits are in those places. I said, oh, thank you, Mom. And that's how I quickly incorporated that topic into what we were talking about. And so it's not people do ask me, when should I start talking to my child about sex and sexuality? And I was like, as early as possible, and it's appropriate per time. Sex and sexuality has different things, and I'll talk about it later. But there are some other times when a child will not come to ask you questions, and it will be based on what they hear. And they should be comfortable coming to you and say you're a knowledge resource and they could rely on you. And there was a time my daughter came and said, oh, we are doing what we call sexuality in school. I said, oh, that's nice. So what do you know about it? They're doing sex ed. And she said, oh, this is what they taught us. This is about puberty. And I was able to expatiate, talk to her, listen to her questions, and help her to have the right perspective, okay, concerning either adolescents, sex and sexuality. So you should be comfortable talking about it. And they say children that they feel their parents are open to communication about sex are more likely to delay sex and make better decisions about their well-being and their sexuality in general. So a mother needs to take a full reign of this. And it's not a one-time event. You need to talk to your child per time. Every time, this opportunity to talk to them is very important. And that's why I'm making this series. I want to make it easier for moms or parents or caregivers to be able to approach their children, communicate with them in the simplest way that allows them to fully understand what sex and sexuality is. So it's an ongoing conversation between them that reinforces your values that you have, reinforces what your thoughts are based on your and when I say values, it has to be based on truth. It's not just myth, it has to be facts. So I would like to clarify two things. Sex and sexuality, they are not the same thing. Absolutely not. Okay? So sexuality is a whole bandwidth of issues. It starts with even the understanding of who they are, what their values are. It goes on to talk about the hygiene, talk about their feelings, the relationships they have, the affection they start developing, the respect for other people's respect for other people and the way they want to handle their body. Some people want to abstain. You should be able to respect. Some people have limits on how you should talk to them or what you should do with them. You have to respect other people as well. And these are the things we have to start incorporating into the child to let them know this is how it should be. The second thing about sexuality is about relationships, okay? At the point in time, the way you interact with people, okay, nominal or affectionate is important. It's all about sexuality, sexual identity, gender preferences. It's also part of the things you have to start having conversations with them about, and it should be based on the truth and the values you hold, okay, to yourself. Now, sex is a physical act, okay, physical act, and it's not bad in itself. When sex is done in the right way, at the right time, with the right person, the word says is a wonderful thing. And we have to know that it is wonderful. But when sex is at the wrong time or with the wrong person, it actually changes the way we see ourselves or the way we even relate to people. It changes our general sense about it. And sometimes it's not even the act, even seeing, watching all those things. And, the word says that even if you think it or if you see it and you consume it, you've even done the act. So it's important to let them know the things that are important about sexuality and sex. So now I would go on to talk about the 10 ways, okay? And this is the part one. I'm going to break it down into different things, different timelines, so that I won't exhaust our time too much. Okay, so the first thing, number one, about a way to talk to your teen is you have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to be comfortable with the facts. Okay, you have to be comfortable with talking about it with your child. They have to see your comfort level about it. They have to see your knowledge about it. Now, don't forget you are the caregiver. You are the mom. You are an expert in knowing your child. You are an expert because you've had other experiences. You're an expert because you know your family values and what you want to impact. And sometimes you might not be able to talk about things because of your own personal experience, and that's okay, that's fine. You could engage other people like counselors that you trust and you hold the same values, doctors or nurses, around your community that can talk to your child. Your primary care physician could also help to talk about sexuality, but it's good to talk about it. It's good to be comfortable with it. It's good because when your child is comfortable talking about it with you, they're able to come to you and ask questions. and it's very important. And two, it's not a one-time thing, like I said, it's an ongoing thing. You have to let the young person know that as they are maturing, their body changes, physically, emotionally, and even mentally. They start changing. You should be able to talk to them about it, and it's not a one-time thing. Young children should learn about approach to other people, should learn to about limits, privacy. As they are growing, they're becoming teenagers, they have to know what the privacy limit should be with them. Regard for others' feelings is important. Don't take people for granted. And it's easier for teens to relate with you when they know that you're not coming at a point of when something has happened, something bad has happened. I'll give you an example. I had a very close family who had an unsafe abortion and nearly lost her life. And I remember in the university, my mommy coming to me. I was in med school. I was like, "Oh, Ayo, how are you doing? Fine. So you're looking nice." I was, "Oh, thanks, mom." I was like, she was not like, "Oh, that's try as much as possible to just keep yourself, try to abstain, and I know it's the best thing. But if you cannot abstain, please use condom." I was like, okay, mom. you know. But usually it should have been an ongoing thing. When the child starts going into adolescence and their body start changing, they start talking about it, start changing their thinking, you have to start. You have to start because at that time, it would not be as if you're talking out of fear. It's not as if you're talking out of they've done something wrong, you want to reprimand them. You're not talking out of anxiety. They can see that it's an ongoing thing. It's more of an education, more of empowering them, more of leading them into what they should actually do. And at the end of the day, they become more assertive because now they have the right knowledge. If you don't talk to them about it, they will get it from the videos, they'll get it from their friends, they'll get it from the internet, and you have to use every opportunity you see. Now, sometimes social media is not so bad. You can be watching a film and you see now even cartoons, you see people kissing in cartoon, you see different things in cartoons, and you have to use that opportunity to talk to them and let them know what the right thing is. Now you have even teenage comedy, 8 years old, 11 year old, 12 year old, they're already going out, and you're like, okay, what's happening? They're already doing different things that you might not be comfortable with. How are you engaging your child to say this in itself with the right at the right time with the right person is good, but what is the purpose of that right now? And you have to be able to talk to them about it. Also, talking about puberty at the time of puberty is so important. You have to let them know that there are body changes that will happen. Many of the times they will ask, am I normal? This is happening. They start having body image issues. So the third thing is to talk to your child during the time of puberty as well. Because whatever you say has to be age appropriate, really. Has to be age appropriate. There are a lot of resources that you could use, you could get this information from. But the basic thing is they start having body changes, okay, physically. Their height increases, they start, their genitals changes, they start growing breasts, they start menstruating, and it varies. So you have to let them that the changes in your body is a wide span. Some might not change as fast as others. They are still normal. Some might start very quickly and they look more mature than their peers. It's normal. And the second thing is not just physical. They also have mental changes, emotional changes. Start feeling affection for other people. They start noticing the opposite sex. What are you talking to them about it? Let them know that sometimes it's normal, but there is a limit. This is a natural thing that happens in life. But how do you handle it? How do you handle those feelings? How do you handle your body changes? How do you handle the hygienic part of yourself, both for male and for female? So it's so important that we talk to our kids about it. It has to be one. You have to be comfortable talking about it. You have to be knowledgeable to an extent about it. They have to be comfortable coming to you to ask you for advice. Number 3, you have to also start early. It's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process, reinforcement of values. When children know that what you're talking to them about is based on values and safety. Okay, they start seeing the good motive behind what you're saying. Okay, so it's important that it's ongoing education for them. Number three, start talking about their changes and let them feel normal about themselves. Have good body image, have good know that what they are going through is normal and this is how they can handle such emotions and such feelings. So thank you for joining me today. I'll stop here. This is the first part. I'll be seeing you next week. So please join me next week for a continuation of this episode. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please click that subscription button right there. Please, it's the red button, the bell button. Please click it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. See you next time. Bye.